Hello, this is Engelgeist, and this is your August month predictive video for the sign of Aries. So this is the first time that I'm doing this. It's a taroscope for those with the sun, moon, or rising, or your Venus if there's any love that shows up in this, but your sun, moon, rising in Aries. So we're going to shuffle the cards and see what August has in store for you. So bear with me 1 second. So the shuffle feels good and clean, even though I'm shuffling this around the tripod, which is a little awkward, but giving away all my trade secrets early on. The shuffle doesn't feel like there's going to be a lot of resistance in the month of August to me, because sometimes my cards can feel heavy, thick, syrupy. They can be harder to push together. These feel like they're coming together really well. So I think some of that hot Aries fiery energy, that headstrong Aries energy is going to work well for you guys in the month of August. It looks like my feeling is that the pace will move rather quickly. The month will move quickly for you. And you will probably have a lot of opportunity to get a lot accomplished just by the shuffle. So let's see what we have going for Aries. So as your center, it looks like you're going to be focused on well, this is the Six of Worlds, so this is definitely a career-oriented, material goods, money, that sort of thing, but this feels to me like this is also very focused. The card is called Synergy. It's very focused on your relationships. So I feel like where you're going to be centered around is going to be your relationships, quite possibly work relationships, partnerships, anything that's going to get you ahead. It does look like you guys will be juggling a lot in the month of August, but you'll be handling it. I feel a little bit about like stubbornness, like I sort of see you guys as this swan here, and you're trying to work with another swan, be it a partner, it could even be a romantic interest, but you're kind of pushing them out of the way going, honey, let me handle this, I've got this, don't worry. Or it could be a coworker or a boss. It feels like you might be trying to take on the world in the month of August. That's not a bad thing for you. I think, like I said, there is a, sorry, that's my dogs all coughing and scratching and doing whatever in the background. It does feel like you'll be juggling a lot, but you'll be able to handle it. You might need the help of others, is what Spirit is telling me, but you may not be so apt to take it because Aries, you guys tend to be headstrong, tend to be doers, tend to be, you know, out there kind of getting it done for yourself. So I feel like this card is about that, but this might also be about learning how to bring people in the month of August, how to bring in partnerships, relationships, friendships, maybe ask for help if help is needed, if that makes any sense at all. The reason why I say that is because this card is synergy, so it is about you working with others, and I have a tendency to feel like I want to say that some of you that are watching this video don't necessarily always pull others in. So this is going to be sort of where you're going to be at, or where your focus is going to be for the month. To get things accomplished, you might have to not only rely on yourself, but also rely on the help of others. Your grounding card, or what's going to sort of be the foundation of this month for you, and sort of what you're kind of trying to build, is the Ace of Cups, which is ecstasy. That's a beautiful building card. I'm just gonna put this over this so you can see it. What I see here is there's a room for transformation, a lot of room for growth, a lot of room for beauty and capability, realizing one's own strength. I'm not saying that you won't be without your emotions, but it will be like a rewarding emotion. Like I think at some point during the month of August, maybe later in the month of August, you're gonna have probably like a big sigh of relief and really be able to look back at all the work that you put in here in this synergy card throughout the entirety of the month. This is like your theme of the month, or where you're centered at, right? So you're kind of building this momentum, juggling all of these things, trying to get these things done, but also working on your relationships, working on your friendships, working on your work relationships, and bringing those in and finding synergy and making things work for you rather than against you. And in the process of doing that, I feel like the whole foundation of that is to build this better life, this sort of ecstasy, this Ace of Cups, this like emotional freedom, this sort of feeling of being fulfilled and beautiful and being aware of who you are and what you're worth, right? And it's a very transformative month for you, I feel like. If you do things successfully, you do allow people to come in, you're not too headstrong, you will actually achieve this ecstasy card at some point, or this feeling of really being fulfilled and complete. I have a feeling this is going to be a very good month for Aries. So the next card is sort of where I see sort of your soul or spirit self, where it's working on or what it's sort of doing, and this would be sort of above you a little bit. And this card is the Seven of Crystals, which is dullness. Now this card to me is interesting because it's the opposite of what we've got going on here in this Ace of Cups. This Ace of Cups is all about emotional freedom, feeling beautiful, feeling capable, and that's really what you're going after. But what your spirit has got to work on in the midst of all of this is this Seven of Crystals is your mind and the dullness of your mind. Sort of what like emotionally is bothering you, plaguing you. Your spirit wants you to work on that stuff and kind of get it moved out of the way so that you can achieve this. So these things might come up. This being a mind card, crystals represents the realm of the mind. This being sort of in your spirit space says to me that there's some workings going on in your brain. There's some old memories, old resentments, old sadnesses that are kind of sort of maybe a little bit stuck there, and they need to be moved out. In the moving out of them, which might be through this activity here, of working with others, letting others come in and help to give you a little breathing room, a little space to actually kind of not only get like the normal material things accomplished, like in the workspace, the home space, that sort of thing, but also to allow yourself a little bit of leeway to work in your mind space. You might be able to like let your spirit in a little bit more, let it help clear out the clutter of your brain a little bit, remove some of these blocks, these emotional blocks or these mental blocks that kind of maybe weigh you down, or say I can't do it, or I can't let others in, or I'm a failure if I ask for help. Those sort of things, if we let go of those sort of things, we're going to reach this Ace of Cups, which is the foundation for what we're trying to build for this month. And it will be beautiful, and we'll be free of all of this heaviness that's here that might still linger in our mind. Now, I normally pull 2 cards for things to be aware of. So 1 card for you guys, Aries, and I don't necessarily see you guys as being this. You guys are fire signs, so I would think that you're more mental or, you know, how do I want to put it? I don't know, you're more action oriented, I guess, and sort of you think about it, you mentally, you have the thought, and then you move on it. This is the Child of Cups, which the child does sort of go along with your Aries nature, but the Child of Cups is more your emotional self. This to me is called feeler. So I think that this month, something to be on the lookout for the month of August would be your feelings, where your feelings are at. Remember, we're going for this Ace of Cups here as the sort of the foundation for our month. We're going for this feeling of ecstasy, this feeling of really feeling accomplished and wonderful. This feeler card throughout the month is gonna be showing us sort of our barometer for where we're at. How close are we to this, or are we in this? You know, are we working with the dullness? Are we too busy in our thoughts and in our mind? Or are we working towards that idea of ecstasy and beauty and transformation and having the things that we want? Are we open to allowing others in? Are we open to successes? Are we open to synergy and creating that success that we want? This will be our gauge throughout the month. We want to check in with our feelings. There's even a lot of children in this card, so be playful this month of August. Have fun. Don't take it too seriously. Try not to get too bogged down in your sadness. Use that like youthful Aries energy and that fiery Aries energy to like push you and propel you forward, but be aware of where your emotions are at any given time and act accordingly. Change them, or your thoughts too, because thoughts create emotions. So be aware of that. Your spirit definitely wants you to be aware of that in the month of August. Don't let that get in your way. And one other thing we would want to maybe possibly look out for, the Empress. Interesting. The Empress is definitely a powerful card. She is all about standing strong in the center of her world. I feel like this could represent as, let me see, I feel like this might be some female presence in most of your Aries lives. I don't know if this is a mother or a girlfriend, a wife possibly, if men are watching, or even if women are watching, you might have wives too, a sister, but whoever this is, this feels like an authoritative energy. She sort of feels like she loves you and she's trying to sort of help you, but I feel like her vision for you might be different than your own. And it's interesting to me too, because that brings me back to this synergy card, which is the foundation of the month, is maybe learning how to work with this woman. She could be a female boss. She could be a female counterpart or girlfriend that thinks she's a bit better than you, or thinks she knows how you should go about doing things. But let me tell you this, she has her answers and her stuff is complete for her in her life, and her life is good, but she's not perfect by any means, and her information may not be yours. She means it with love. She might be a little bit harsh at times, but be on the lookout for her. Don't allow her thoughts to creep in on how you're living your life or how you're doing things or how you're going about things. Don't allow her thoughts to bring about your feelings that bring about this stinking thinking, so to speak, okay? If the stinking thinking does come up though, go ahead and look at it for what it is and release it. Let it go and get to that ecstasy card, that Ace of Cups card, okay? And if this is sort of, a relative or somebody that's much closer to us than, say, like a good girlfriend or a boss, we can just kindly say, yes, I understand. Oh, that's such a great idea, and not necessarily have to take on all of their information. The funny thing is she's sort of looking away. I feel like if I set her down on the spread, she's looking away from the spread, even though she's judging you a little bit. She really wants the best for you, but what she thinks is best for you isn't necessarily what is how I feel. I feel like she's got the best of intentions for you, but her information is a little outdated. I'd almost go so far as to say that she's not quite as happy as she likes to appear. For some reason, I'm looking at this Empress card today, and this Empress is feeling a little bit lonely to me. So if this is a boss or your mom who's telling you how you should date or who you should date or what you need to do at work, and, she doesn't necessarily have a job, or she doesn't necessarily have a boyfriend, or she doesn't necessarily have the information that she's doling out to you, you might want to think twice about that, because it could run you into some derail you a little bit in your feelings or quite possibly your thoughts. Now, the last card is kind of like the potential outcome. And I always say this, guys, before I do this final card, is that with these cards, these are the cards that build up the foundation for as it stands now going into the month of August for the sign of Aries. And with my with my outcome cards, it's always sort of like a potential outcome. So if for any reason this is a negative card, I want you to know that this is potential. We have a whole month, and we can use this card as a warning sign to make choices and changes in our lives, because we have free will to affect this outcome so that this card does not come to pass. If this card is beneficial and we want this card to come to pass, then great. We don't really have to do much other than just keep doing what we're doing. We're going to naturally head towards this in the future. So this card is the Sage of Cups, Regenerator. Lots of cups for you guys this month. It's interesting with this Ace of Cups, the Child of Cups, and the Sage of Cups. It sort of feels like Aries, who maybe doesn't necessarily like to be all up in their emotions all the time, I have a feeling, or I don't know why I want to say this, but I feel like you do best when you're sort of in authoritative spaces, maybe a little bit like the easiest energy would be more of a fiery anger, or or that would be the easiest emotion for you guys to be in, I feel like. But this feels like it's going to be a lot about working through your emotions and the thoughts that get carried along, the older thoughts that we carry along with us that limit us. This Sage of Cups being the outcome says to me that whether we achieve this Ace of Cups or not, we will get to this place of feeling a lot more healed, a lot more whole, a lot more at peace with how we feel, if that makes sense. We're going to grow, learn from this Child of Cups and grow into this Sage of Cups. And some of us may actually achieve this Ace Ace of Cups, right? Because that's the foundation, or what the goal is, what we're grounding in and trying to go for. So this outcome says to me that indeed we will feel more whole, we will feel more emotionally stable, we will feel like we have brought some people into the picture. There's a bunch of different people going on in here, and maybe allowed some people in to help us, not been so, I don't know, headstrong or stubborn, and allowed ourselves to kind of work together with others to get to the goal that we want. This card to me feels emotionally complete. It feels a little bit more healed than say the month of July, and it's definitely a position of power or authority in the emotional realm. So I would say that this month, as a whole, as I'm looking at all of these cards and kind of thinking over everything, Aries, you guys have got your work cut out for you. You've got a lot going on this month. The pace is going to be fast. You are going to be juggling quite a bit, but remember, bring in others, allow them, trust them, and allow them to help you so that you can create the space that when you need to take a breather or you need to back down and sort of check yourself, check your emotions, get comfortable with where you're at, and sort of change your thoughts or your outlook on things when it goes south. Use that time, use those relationships, create that synergy, create that connection that you need, so that you can clear away some of these stuck older resentments, thoughts, limiting beliefs that aren't serving you. And emotionally, you're gonna bring forward a whole lot of healing and a whole lot of transformation and a lot of self-esteem in the month of August. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. I hope that you guys get a lot accomplished in the month of August. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Also, if you wouldn't mind coming back and commenting like in August and letting me know if this makes any sense, or if you are indeed facing sort of a myriad of tasks and feeling a bit emotional, yet getting control of your emotions. I would love to hear that, because that's what I feel like the theme of your month is for the month of August. You guys are going to be I see the impression that I'm getting in my mind's eye is that I feel like you guys as a sign, you guys tend to move so quickly because you're fire signs. You move quickly and you don't necessarily stop long enough to like take a breath or take in what's going on emotionally. This month is going to be about that, but it's going to be a very powerful month for you, because an Aries with a grasp on their emotions and an awareness of what they can get accomplished with that like sort of fiery energy and that strong-mindedness, right? That which we kind of need to break up here in this dullness card. That strong will and that strong-mindedness can be like a powerful combination in the months to come. So I think that if you do actually achieve this and do this work, you will be amazed at what you feel like at the end of August and going into September. It'll be exciting to see what you guys have. If you guys like this monthly predictive, please let me know. I might do weekly predictives for signs too, depending on if it's not too much. I do a daily for the general energy of the collective of all that watch. But this is my first Taroscope, so please leave feedback and comments and let me know what you think. All right, if it was helpful, or if there's anything else you want me to include or exclude, I greatly appreciate it. And please give me a thumbs up, and if you liked it and want to see others, subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified when I do my next video. This is Engelgeist. My name is Dan Geist. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have an awesome August. Bye.